Good. We're in Bratislava with Oleksandr
Kal'nychenko.
Thank you very much.
Oleksandr Kal'nychenko, yes.
Pronunciation.
Yes.
What's your job, please?
Yes. In fact, I'm assistant professor at Mykola Lukash Translation Studies Department at Kharkiv, at Karazin, the full name.
Okay.
At Karazin, Kharkiv National University. And besides, I'm a professor.
In which country?
It's Ukraine.
Thank you.
It's Ukraine, and at the same time, I'm a professor at the Slavonic Languages Department at the University of Matej Bel, that is Banska Bystrica, in Slovakia.
Right. So you're between two countries, or you're out of one country?
Yes,
or?
in Kharkiv we are working online. We are still working online, so there's a danger. There's a danger because the missile demands 40 seconds to fly from Russia to Kharkiv.
So you can't dodge it?
Yes. Right. We teach only online nowadays.
Makes sense. You're keeping safe.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. You've done many things, but we'll come to that in a minute. What were you doing in your mid-20s, if I may ask?
When I was at that age, yes, I was fond of the theater very much, so I participated in amateur theater, which was, by the way, famous, which was best, more popular than professional theaters, and besides, I was acting in a sort of a group like Monty Python.
Okay, so you're doing
Yes,
comic
like
sketches.
British for you
That's
understand
good
like that.
cultural
Yes,
translation.
of that time. Yes.
Okay, and that was in Ukrainian, in Ukraine. You were then in Ukraine.
Yes. I was in Ukraine, in Kharkiv. Yes.
So you were theater actors.
Yes.
How did you get from that into translation studies?
Yes. I was asked to translate several books. Yes, and several plays. So Tennessee Williams, for example. Yes, and Tom Stoppard. So that was my beginning.
So you had good English already. Yes. Good.
Yes, and I graduated by that time. I have graduated from the translators department, and by the way, our university, our department was founded in 1930. So possibly it's the oldest department of translation
In
over the world, I believe.
Oh, we'll check that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. At least it appeared a month earlier than New Languages Institute in Moscow.
All right. Okay. That's
Yes,
that's
yes, and I believe that mine was later.
Okay. Could be. You've helped me a lot by giving me information on translation studies in Ukraine in that period, in the 1920s, leading up to the 1930s. Could you just say a few words about that?
Certainly. Yes, the period of 1920s and maybe early 1930s was the period of national revival. So we've got hundreds of translators of fiction. Yes, both women and men, yes, who translated from scores, hundreds, maybe scores of languages, dead and alive. Yes, and so it was an upsurge also in the theory. So it appeared the theory of translation, and even the book was written by Alexander Finkel, called very simply theory and practice of translation. And since that time, our discipline is called like that, theory and practice of translation.
Okay.
It was after that book, by
Good.
the way.
Okay, so it has a very long tradition,
Yeah.
which has not been continuous.
Yes, it was interrupted in the mid 1930s. Yes, with the change of national policy of the Bolsheviks, so and with the interruption of the policy of indigenization or Ukrainization,
Yes.
so nationalists, so I mean people from republics were called nationalists and were declared to be the biggest danger. Not Russian chauvinists
Okay.
like it was before,
Right.
but this time.
Okay.
So it changed. The picture changed greatly, and people who translated into Ukrainian, so they have, first of all, yes. So they have shown themselves. So they now the Bolshevik, the regime knows who they should take,
Okay.
and they did.
So that's the executed Renaissance.
Yes, yes, absolutely. This period was called the executed Renaissance. Yes, yes.
And then Ukrainian picks up later. Translation activities pick up later.
Yes,
Teaching
yes.
carries on.
About me?
No,
Yeah.
yes, we'll get to you.
Yes. In fact, the picture changed to better during the thaw. Yes, with the appearance of several translators of younger generation, like Mykola Lukash, who by that time, being a young man, translated Faust.
Okay, so
Yes.
we're in the
It
like
was
1960s now.
no. In the early 1950s.
Okay, yeah.
And then people were coming back from the Gulag camps.
Yes.
Yes, the best translations who survived.
Okay. Okay.
So like Grigory Kocher, like Boris Ten, who translated Iliad and the Odyssey. Yes. Those translators, Vasil Mysik, who translated from Oriental languages, for example, Firdusi, and he knew them.
Okay.
Yes, and though his favorite was Keats.
Okay.
Yeah. His translations of Keats are the best. So people were coming back.
Right.
Yes, and in fact they saved the situation with translation in Ukraine, which became very literal by that time.
Okay.
Yes.
You have in Ukraine as 3 or more translation teaching institutions.
Huh.
I don't know.
You would be surprised.
I'm surprised.
Yes, you would be surprised by the number of translation institutions.
Okay.
Yes, but in fact, the situation was like that in the 1990s, after the independence. So there appeared a lot of private universities. So they couldn't prepare teachers, but they were allowed to prepare translators. So you just imagine the number of those translators.
All right,
And
okay.
you can understand what people, so who taught them. So people who never translated anything, just speak a bit English or French or German.
Okay.
So about this,
Okay.
yes, but nevertheless we can speak about 3 centers in
Centers
Ukraine.
are doing
Yes,
translation
yes,
theory
with all
and-
university, yes, with the people who are known, yes, that is Kharkiv University, National University, Kyiv Shevchenko University, and Lviv Ivan Franko University. So maybe these are the most important sentence.
I'd like to ask about translation research.
Yeah, you're welcome.
From your perspective, what kind of research should we be doing these days?
Yes, in my opinion, there should be all possible kinds of research. I mean various researches, because we do not know. Yes, maybe in future people would be interested in some of them, and some of them would be neglected. Yes, but nevertheless, we do not know now what would be of interest for the future population, because some things are topical now, but in a short period the things may change.
So everything is good to do? Because
No. I don't think that everything is good. There are a lot of problems, and I even know the cases when even translation studies, investigations, where belong to the dark side of translation studies.
What do you
Because
mean?
I mean that some specialists wrote, yes, during the pogrom campaign, so they wrote papers analyzing translation, yes, and they were quite specialists, but they analyzed translations and wrote that these translators, at the very end, they wrote, these translators are nationalist wreckers.
Okay.
Translators,
so
wreckers, or saboteurs.
Yes, I saw some
So,
examples. So not all research is good research. Okay.
yeah. So I mean that every phenomenon can have a bright and a dark side. Even any function, yes, of translation. So translation is not always good. Sometimes its role may be negative. For example, I mean the translations done in the 1950s in Ukraine, which helped very much to Russify, to Russification. So
Okay. Look, thank you very, very much. People are coming into the restaurant. So we'll have to leave, but thank you very, very much for your time.
thank you.